Hey, my friends, I want to do a daily pep talk with you tonight. And I'm going to venture into waters that you typically wouldn't venture into, right? You're not supposed to talk politics, but I want to talk to you about how do you build an amazing business and an incredible future and a business that accomplishes the goals that you have in your heart and creates an amazing future for your family and ultimately for many other people's families. And one of the ways you do that is that you work together with people that don't always see the world the same way that you see it. So yesterday was September 11th, and is an important day for the world to remember, but specifically for Americans to remember. And then the day before that was our presidential election. Well, the night before the presidential election, I received a communication from one of our great leaders. And she had received a message from one of the great leaders on her team. And the one leader is a Democrat and is voting for Harris. The other leader is a Republican. She's voting for Trump, right? And I thought, what a beautiful thing in our business that we can work together in a spirit of love and harmony, in a spirit of unity, even though we don't necessarily agree on every subject that there is out there on the planet to agree on. But we can still work together in a spirit of love and harmony. We can set an example for other organizations, whether it's in government or in our school systems or in our local communities or in our work environments or even in our families, even in our family environments, where we can actually work together and lift each other up, support each other, listen to each other, be compassionate, serve each other, add value to each other, even though we're at different ends of different subjects when it comes to spectrums, right? So to build a great business, you're going to want to tap into what I call collective genius. Collective genius is where 1 + 1 = 3 or more. It's where you tap into synergy. Collective genius is where you lay all of your individual genius on the table. Other people lay their individual genius on the table, and then the collective of all of us leads to the best ideas. And we're heading into a presidential election here in the United States. And my friends, we get to set an example for how people can still be unified, even though they don't necessarily agree on every subject. And that's what happens in these amazing communities. I worked with a gentleman years ago that part of his team, he had a global team, an international team. It was actually when I went and spoke in Moscow and Omsk, Russia, and Almaty, Kazakhstan. My interpreter was from Kiev in Ukraine. She's from a little village out there. And so he was telling me some of these stories where there was conflicts in Eastern Europe. And one of the things that happened with these soldiers is the one soldiers were fighting against another group that was part of their team. And he said it actually helped to bring peace to these little skirmishes they were having, because they said, I don't want to kill my team. I'm talking their actual business team, because the countries started to be a conflict. And there's just a real power that we can do as a community, within this Make Wellness community, to where we can show up with, you can still be passionate about your stances and your values, but we can still say, listen, with my passion on that subject, I'm also want you to know I love you and I honor that you have your passion on your subject. We don't always have to see the same way, but we can still work together in a collective genius to build a community together, to serve people together, to add value together. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. At the end of the day, we're all humans, most importantly, right? And so we're more united than we are divided. We're more connected than we are torn apart. And so I would encourage you to think about that, even as you get into, again, go back with your employment or when you're at family dinner or around, relatives, that you say, let's focus on all the stuff we have in common versus, the things that we don't have in common. Let's focus on the things that we love about each other and that we admire about each other versus, the few things that we think we look at the world differently. So the way to kind of think about it as we head into, a political season, a political election. And I know there's a lot of stress in the world, but we get to set a higher standard, a higher example about how we can navigate through tricky times and through challenging times and even through challenging conversations, when those come up as well. So I love you guys. I'm proud of you. You're doing an amazing work, and I will see you on our next Daily Pep.